Now, I love my 7 Excel auxiliary formulae. They're formulae that save me so much time and they can save you so much time, but nobody seems to talk about. Nobody seems to have heard of them. Let's get into the first one now. So make sure you download the download file, work along with me. I'm on the briefing sheet in the file here. What's the first thing we want to do? We want to display the day of the week of the purchase. Let's head over to the data sheet. We can see we've got our transaction data. Just pay attention to column C. We've got a purchase code in there. We're going to be manipulating that. Column B, we've got a date. And then our first task is to convert that date into a day of the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it might be. How are we going to do that? Well, you could do some custom formatting, but I prefer using this Excel auxiliary formula. What is it? Let's have a look now. It is the text formula, of course. So let's go ahead. Equals text and open bracket. Then Excel is asking for a value and format text. So the value, that's the cell that we want to manipulate into this different format, and then comma. Then format text is the format that we want to display the data in. And to get this day format that we're looking for, day of the week, we can type in DDD there. It might be MMM for month, YY for year, whatever you want. That's the power of the text formula. I'm going to go ahead, close the brackets here, and we can see Thursday there. The day of filming is the 13th of May 2021. I can confirm it is a Thursday. So we've done a little test there. Control D here on the Windows PC. We've managed to pull our formula down, and the text formula is our first of 7 auxiliary formulae. But if we're meeting for the first time, I'm Chris Mortimer. A massive welcome to Tiger Spreadsheet Solutions. I love bringing the powerful stuff in Excel to people like you. Before we go on to the next of our auxiliary formulae, let me tell you quickly about my Excel cheat sheet. This is absolutely free. I've laid it out for you, the 13 techniques, 21 formulae that you need to know in Excel. There's also 2 or 3 exclusive videos in there, never previously released on video. It's your free Excel mini course. The link is in the description below. With that said, let's get on to formula number 2. So what's our next task? Let's get back into the download file, onto the briefing sheet. We've done task 1. We now want to extract the 2-letter product code. So what does that mean? Looking at the purchase code here, we're looking to extract these 2 letters. So we've got EF here, looking to extract that and display it into a column. In this cell, we've got AB. So what formula would allow us to do that? Well, Excel has these cool formulae that allow us to work with text. And one of them is the mid formula. So go ahead, type it in. Mid allows us to extract characters from a text string. So I'm heading over to our text. I'm just going to select the cell using the keyboard there. Then we've got comma, start number, a number of characters. So start number refers to the first character in the text string that you want to include in our text. So I can see, just looking down the data, it's the 5th character in the string. So 5 goes in, then comma, how many characters? We want 2 characters. Then I can close the brackets here. That's the mid formula. We've managed to return our product code there, EF. Control D once more on the Windows PC. That is the power of the mid formula. We've also got left and right. They're mids, partners in crimes, coming up a little bit later in the video. So how are you getting on? Are you keeping up with me? And have you heard of these 7 Excel auxiliary formula? Next job 3, is to input random figures at the end of the code for product EF. So let's just examine the data. We can see after product EF, we don't have a single figure, and we want to put that single figure in. So how might you do that? Sounds like a bit of a random, yes, a bit of a random task, doesn't it? But I have to do this all the time. When I'm generating training materials, when I'm creating models, testing models, I have to generate random data. What formula is going to help us here? Well, the Randbetween formula. Let's give it a go. Equals rands and then B, and then I'm going to hit tab. The formula is going to auto-populate. Excel is going to choose a random number between the 2 numbers I type in. So I'm going to go for 1 and 9 because looking at the data, it's a single value between 1 and 9 that I want. The Randbetween formula there. So Control D now, copying that formula down, the Randbetween formulae and the RAND formula. There's a few other Excel formulas so useful for creating random data. You'll have to do it all the time as you go through your Excel career. So we've managed to input those random figures. So we want to now concatenate programming word. We want to join together this number with this purchase code only if we have the product code EF there. How might we do this? Let's do it simply first. We're going to do it using the ampersand, using that and sign. And this is our next auxiliary Excel formula that no one's ever heard of. Not quite a formula, the and sign, but so useful. A lot of people just don't know about it. So very simple. CF and F5, CF and F5 there. That's going to concatenate these two cells together. And we can see suddenly we've got our product code there. I'm just going to double click in the bottom right and you can see the product codes have come down, but we don't want this to happen if the product is not EF. You can see we don't want an additional figure there on code AB, for example. How are we going to stop that? With a simple if formula. So if the product code is EF, remember we need the speech marks, then we want this to happen. That's the formula we've just put in. If not, we just want to display the normal purchase code. So an if formula like this is going to clean up that problem where we had the additional figures coming in. Control D on the Windows PC. And can you see we've got uniformity in our product codes using our Excel auxiliary formulae, in particular Rand in that case. So what's our next task? Let's move on. So we've managed to input the random figures. Now we want to extract the last two digits. The last two digits. Always trying to do this stuff in my analytical work. Let's just go for the last digit actually. I think this should say the last digit. So let's suppose we want to do that. What formula would allow us to do it? It's another formula no one's ever heard of. Let's go for the right formula. Right is going to just take the last number of characters that we can choose from the end of the text string. So let's go right, select the cell, comma. How many characters do we want? The briefing said 2. We only want 1 character. And there it is, the right formula. Close the brackets there and you can see we've got 5 coming through here. Control D, and we've got our values coming through. I'm just going to take the opportunity now to convert the random formulae to numbers. So Control C here, Control Alt V and V, and we can see we've got numbers rather than formulae there. That's just going to keep everything still. So we've used the right formula. We've managed to extract that value from the end of the text string. Now, what do we want to do? Well, we want to ensure the figure displays as a value. You can see from the formatting, it's left justified. This isn't going to work as a value. That could create problems in our analysis later. So whenever you're extracting values from a text string, you've got to remember to convert it to a value using our next Excel auxiliary formula using the value formula. Very simple, just value and then the cell. And then we're going to go Control D here. And now you can see the right justified values there. The value formula is our next Excel auxiliary formula. What else do we want to do? Well, let's suppose we've got to do a little bit of work on this database to get it formatted properly. Add numbered columns. How often do you have to do this? So we want to be able to look at our database and have here, okay, this is going to be column 1, just going to add a row here. Column 1, let's say col 1. And then col 2, col 3. But we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that using just typing in the text. We want to use a formula to do that. What might help us? Well, yeah, we could kind of autofill and drag across. That is an option. What about the column formula? Are you ever using the column formula, the row formula, the address formula? Super useful for this kind of task. So I can see the column formula, Control R here on the Windows PC, is returning the column number. So we don't want 2 because this is the first column in our data set. So I'm going to say column -1 here. And then I'm going to say, put the text in at the front using the speech marks. And then once again, our friend, the and sign, is going to concatenate, bring these two together. And then I need a space after the speech mark. And then we've got col 1 there, holding down the shift key and right arrow, Control R to autofill right, Control C, Control Alt V and V, just to convert those to values. And I've used the column formula there to get a job done that might take ages manually typing that all in. That's the power of our Excel auxiliary formulae that people have never heard of. Finally, we've got to identify and remove any duplicates. So we've got a new Excel formula that's going to help us with this one. are you using the unique formula? So let's go equals unique, and then we type in, and then we just go over to the data set here, Control Shift and down arrow, and then just hit enter. And we can see we've actually extracted the unique values from the data set here. Now, the unique formula is only available in newer versions of Excel, but so useful for extracting those unique values. You don't have to do remove duplicates or anything like that anymore. So they are my Excel auxiliary formulae, the formulae nobody ever talks about. Are you going to use them in your work? And have I missed anything out? Let me know in the comments. The next video to watch is in the pinned comment below this video. I'll see you there.